Okay. See. Okay, everyone, how is everyone doing? I hope that, that my audio sounds good after sharing the screen. I hope you guys could hear the music. I have the chat available, so if you guys have anything you want to say to me in the chat, I am watching the chat the entire time. Let me see here. Okay, you cannot hear me. Let's see here. Okay, let me just change this setting. And we are gonna get started soon. Okay. Okay. It says professional audio. Hold on, guys. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me, okay? And it says professional audio. Hold on, let me just turn that off. Okay. How is everyone doing? I hope you are all having a fantastic Tuesday. Happy 3/3. And I know the energy is feeling so beautiful for me. I know there was a huge red moon, and I hope everyone's feeling the beautiful amplification of this energy and feeling good. How is everyone doing? Are you coming in hot? Are you coming in curious? Are you coming in amplified, grounded? What is the feeling for today? I am feeling so amplified, so turned on, so ready to rock this. This is some of my most favorite things to do, and it just really lights me up to be here with you all and to share this insight, share these tools and this wisdom, and bring you along with me, because it is such a journey here, and building missions and living to our God-given purpose is something that I take so much pride in, something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I just am so grateful for everyone who is a part of it. So welcome to Frequency Wealth, everyone. Yay! So in Frequency Wealth today, we are literally creating more time, because as you know, that is something that we can't buy back, right? And so I figured something out that completely blew my mind. My friends were like, Destiny, my clients, they're like, what is happening? You can't stop talking about this. I was ranting and raving about this. My mind was completely blown, and I will never be the same. And so I had to come up with an entire masterclass on this, and there's going to be so much more, right? Because we're multidimensional beings. We are so multifaceted, and you can't put us in a box, because we get to be so many different versions of ourselves all simultaneously at once. And so, yeah, we get to do it all, and we get to have it all, be it all, and do all the things that we desire by our unique and God-given desires in our hearts. So by the end of this masterclass, you will know how to gain insights into the hidden dynamics of your energy, your frequency, your time. And even when you feel busy or overwhelmed, you'll know why. And you will be able to have more clarity around the things that you are most lit up around doing, and get rid of all the other jargon, get rid of the siphoning energy, get rid of the uncertainty and like the doubt and the dullness that God doesn't want us to experience, right? So if you are new here, if you haven't met me, my name is Destiny Shekinah, and I am the Manifestation Queen. And you, if you're here today, you are a Manifestation Queen. You are part of the co-creator group. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are becoming rich in our frequency, right? Frequency wealth. And that means so much more than just currency, just money. This is frequency wealth. And it gets to show up in money too, right? So it can show up in 7 or 8 figures and 9 figures, 10 figures, whatever it means for us, and we get to have it all. So if you're new here, nice to meet you. And a little bit about me, I love God. So this is really, I bridge the gap between faith and energetics. I combine the two, and I love doing it with luxury, cellular level, life force, raw honesty with our heart's desires, royalty standard or nothing, because that is the standard. That is the baseline. And we never lower our standards for anything, because it's our protection, our divine protection from lower quality experiences, which is detriment to our soul. So we have to embody those standards, those divine protection, and we don't lower that for anybody. So this is what we're doing, and we are living God-led, frequency-attuned beings that we were designed to be. So we get to co-create with the infinite abundance. And when you get into my spaces, this is who you are. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And so I like to believe frequency wealth is an amplification tool. It's so much more than just currency. And so I just have a few questions, and leave some chats. I want to hear, leave something in the chat. How are you feeling? What is going on? Is this landing? Is this stuff that you are into too? I want to hear your guys' chats and how you're feeling. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, and so is it true that with frequency wealth, the world would be a better place? And is it true with abundance, you can do great things, be a great partner, be a great being, be a great mother or a great parent, a great partner, a better business person? Is that true? And is it true that you could become a better version of yourself with more wealth in your business? Or what about if you operated from your most abundant self, right? What if you stopped playing small and you stepped into your brilliance? And so that's what we're here to do. We're here to unleash your brilliance, your power, and your gold. We are not here to play small. And there's nothing enlightened about playing small, being humble, or meeting people where they are at your expense to just try to get on their level, try to speak their language, or go back to kindergarten when you are in a PhD program, right? So we're no longer holding on to things that no longer fuel us, no longer light us up, or no longer reciprocate your love, okay? And I'm here to tell you there is a better and easier way. So I just wanted to go over the Marianne Williamson quote to start us off, because this quote is so near and dear to my heart. I have a podcast called the Manifestation Queen Podcast. And if you watched one of my latest episodes with Krista Rose, I started crying when I read this quote. So hopefully I don't cry today. But I received this quote from my father when I was around 6th or 7th grade. And it just touched me, and it stuck with me for the remaining of my everyday life. And so it's been this baseline where I was able to really measure and take that inventory on how I'm feeling, how my reality is sitting with me, how my relationships are, and it was a really good measurement on whether I felt aligned or not. And even though I was young, I didn't know that terminology back then, or those word choices. It was such a big indicator for how I was showing up for myself, how people were showing up for me, if it was in alignment, if we were in resonance. And so the quote is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence, automatically liberates others. And so that is the quote that I built my entire business around. Also, my parents graciously named me Destiny, Shekinah, my middle name, and that means the visible manifestation of the glory of God. So that's why he sent me that quote, because it is, we are meant to manifest the glory of God that is within us. And so that is what we are meant to do. Just because that is my name doesn't make that any different. You are a child of God, and that is your being. That is your birthright. That is your divine right. So you are no different. And so the core premise of this call is time is not our scarcest resource, right? A lot of us may believe that it is, but it's not. And so frequency is the new currency. And are you ready to create more time in a frequency-led way? Can anyone say something in the chat? If you're ready, say, yeah, let's go. I'm a single mom too, by the way, so I have to lock myself in my room because you know how it is, moms out there. And so here I am in my room. So the kids are not going to run in here, lock the door, and do our thing, because we have to live our mission no matter what we get to, and we get to do all the things, and we get to build these frameworks so that we can be fueled by our purpose, by our God-given work, and allow all the infinite abundance into our lives. So this is what we're doing. We're creating more time in a frequency-led way. And when I think about buying more time, right, like even the wealthiest people in the world cannot buy more time. That is the one thing that you cannot buy. And so I was thinking, like Warren Buffett, right? We know he's one of the richest men in the world. And so if you could trade places with him at your current age or in your current space of your life, would you trade places with him? And maybe some would say yes, maybe some would say no, but I know personally he is much older, so his time, I don't know how old he is. He might be like in his 90s now. I don't know, but let's see. And so you wouldn't trade places with him because you know he doesn't have as much time as we do. So time is something that is more valuable than money, right? So you can't buy it. And yeah, our life is a gift that we get to utilize every day. And our life force is what is fueling and bringing that quality of life into our being. So the life force is the essential energy that fuels our actions and our decisions, right? We can call it mitochondria. We could call it our purpose. We could call it our vitality. We could call it, many different terms. So when life force is fragmented, you lose not only momentum, but also the capacity to fuel your passions, ignite your purpose, and operate at a level of excellence, right? So our life force is something that should be protected and just something that we should have hygienic beliefs around, like just like the food we're in consuming and water and supplements, right? We want to be hygienic about the things and the qualities that we're consuming, even content, music. There's qualities in everything. So what we're consuming is affecting our life force. And so recognizing this truth, it allows us to prioritize our energy. Yay, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready too. Let's go. Everyone, hi Josie, hello Karina, hello everybody. I hope everyone's feeling lit up because I'm so excited, guys. I just can't tell you how mind-blowing this is, so I hope you're ready too. And so, recognizing this truth, we prioritize our energy and ensure that it flows towards activities that enhance our life and promote wealth generation and fuel that frequency, the quality of our frequency, and how our energy affects our matter, right? How energy literally turns into physical. So I'm going to show you how to compound life force with exponential returns on your investments, your energetic assets, and your new baselines, okay? Because frequency is a new currency. Let's go. Okay, so there is this term, and it is called ambivalence, okay? I did not know what this term was until recently, and ambivalence is basically when you have mixed feelings about something. It's when you are sitting with someone and you don't know if you like them, you don't know if they like you, and you're like, why am I here? What am I doing? I'd rather be at home watching my show, or I'd rather be at home doing my red light therapy, or maybe I'd rather be with my dog at home, my kids, or whatever it is. You'd rather be doing anything else besides hanging out with this person, and you don't know why. That's ambivalence, right? And that can show up in any aspect of our life. So it can show up in desire, right? Like, I want this, but I don't know. And also, ambivalence is a protective mechanism. So sometimes people can create this ambivalence because they don't want to get too excited about something. So it can be a protective mechanism, which means you want to protect yourself from disappointment. But that leads me to think that there's a self-identity and concept imbalance that makes you think that it is not going to happen, that it's not realistic for you, or that you're not worthy of it, right? So that on the manifestation realm would be considered like resistance, okay? So it's procrastination. Like, you sometimes will procrastinate because you don't really care about this thing, and it's like, I don't really care to do it. It's kind of good for me. I know I might have to, but I don't really feel like it. And then stagnation, right? So this can be like conversations that you've outgrown, but you feel comfortable, so you stay. Relationships, a lot of different versions of this, right? Like friendships, those friends that you've been friends with for so long, but it's almost like, okay, but like, I've been friends with them for so long, and they have no idea what you're talking about. The conversations, you're speaking two different languages, and it's like, okay, what are we talking about? They don't even know what you're doing. They don't know the things that you're talking about. You guys are in completely different chapters of your lives, and so that can cause stagnation, right? And so those are all examples of ambivalence. And so the costs of ambivalence is you spend your day refocusing, recentering, or reevaluating after these experiences. And so it can become like friction, and you're kind of going to manage this, excessive effort that just leads to like exhaustion. You're like, why am I trying to have this conversation again with this person? Like, they don't get it. And, it's like, should I even have the conversation? Like, they're not going to really understand what I'm saying. And so it's just like this friction and doubt. Maybe you're like, what am I doing here? Unresolved feelings. And you're like, it's still unclear how they feel about me. I'm not quite sure how they feel about me still. Okay. And then it's just overthinking. And so you can kind of get off course, right? And so the cost of ambivalence is recentering, right? So it's like, it makes me think of Netflix or Amazon, right? Like, is Netflix speaking to every customer about their movie preferences? Is Jeff Bezos handling customer service in every delivery at Amazon? Like, no, he's not. And so those things are not the center of their focus. It's not their focal point. It's not their zone of genius, right? And so when these things arise as emotions of doubt, uncertainty, overthinking, you're essentially investing in things that are kind of like in the chapter that you were 10 years ago, right? Or in that field that you were studying like 10 years ago. Like, it's not fueling your acceleration into where you're going, and it's not like lifting you up to the place that you want to be. So I don't like to say it like this, but I will, just because it's pretty much below your pay grade, and it can sound a little harsh, right? But like, this is what we have to focus on when we are fulfilling our missions, when we are fulfilling our purpose and what's super important to us. You have to really have that focal point and stay strong on that focal point. So instead of investing in that refocus, getting back on course, you end up behind on your deadlines, and the mission can get affected, okay? And just like Elon Musk, he's not in places that he's wondering why he's there, or talking to people and trying to teach him the things he learned when he was 10 years old, right? He's in his zone of genius. He's advancing in his craft. He's working on his expertise. He's coming up with new technology and doing what lights him up. And that's why he has such strong life force, why he has such strong frequency wealth. Okay, are you guys following me? How is this landing? Mind blown? Are you guys mind blown yet? Okay, and so time expansion. Are you ready? We are going to expand time really quick. This is going to be good. So take your notes out. And so if you want these notes, I can always send them to you guys in the PDF form to your emails with the replay. But listen, take notes because it's important to bring your mental stuff into physical form and write them down on paper. So are you ready to expand time? Are you ready to create more time for your purpose and for your mission? Say yes. Hello? Anybody there? Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. So when ambivalence dissolves, you experience a powerful shift in perception. You don't feel rushed. You don't feel overwhelmed. And I don't know if they are my thoughts or the opinions of others. Right. And so another thing about ambivalence, right? We're not talking about getting to know somebody. We're not talking about mood fluctuation. We're not talking about, you're going through something and you have to take some time away from people. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the things where time and time again, you try to put an effort, the effort's not reciprocated, or you just can't find that alignment. You can't find that common ground. And so this is something that's kind of like an overtime thing, right? For me, recently, I was dating a guy and I couldn't figure it out. Like, do I like him? Do I not like him? And we went on a few dates and it's just like that mishap. It's like that misalignment where they're saying certain things, but then it doesn't feel right or it looks right on paper, but there's a difference. It's a dissonance in the energetic frequency. And maybe it means that they're kind of saying things, but they're not actually embodying it, or they're giving you this false sense or whatever. It can be so many different things, but essentially it's just when you're like, okay, I'm going to go out with this guy again. I really don't feel like it because it's not there. The spark is not there. Or I'm going to go out with my girlfriend, or I'm going to go play, golf, but I really don't like playing golf. It's just certain things like that. Or, work, right? Like you're going to go to this job or to this group, and they don't speak your language. They don't have the same interests, or there's just a misalignment there, right? And it's just like, I'd rather do something else. So that's really what ambivalence is. It's like that, And they say that there's studies that it causes more emotional distress, anxiety, depression, that it's actually more detrimental than toxic relationships, because toxic ones, you actually know what to expect, right? So that person's going to say something mean. That they're not going to support you. That they're always harsh, right? But the ambivalent relationships are those undermining kind of jabs that are a little passive aggressive, like frenemies, oh, they support you sometimes, and other times they're oh, but you're kind of unrealistic, or I don't really know what you're even doing, that doesn't even make sense, or I'm really happy for you, congratulations, but you don't really, you're not actually living that way. It's not actually who you really are, because I know you from 10 years ago, and blah, 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 stuff like that. So those undermining jabs, those situations that just don't sit right with you anymore, and you just aren't completely blah about it, okay? So, because I was tripped up about that too. I'm wait, so is this a mood thing? Is this just a unclarity thing? Maybe you are still trying to figure it out. And so I'm not talking about the beginning where you're getting to know someone. I'm talking about those things that you're pretty clear on this now. It's that resistance, right? There's some sort of resistance here, and whether you put your finger on it or not, it's just that data feedback. It's your inner being, your highest self, trying to tell you it's not in alignment. And so when you're feeling that ambivalence, it's just a simple indicator that you're trying to rise above and trying to go up and just letting it go. So it doesn't need to be a huge focal point, you know what I mean? It's just something that you can either choose to interact with or choose not to. And so how to create more time is when your energy is no longer scattered, right? When there's no more damage control, course correction, and wondering, you're focusing your life force on the things, the people, the places, the events, the activities, the communities, the mentorship that light you up, that unlock productivity, and it leads to enhanced fulfillment in both time and wealth, okay? So literally getting rid of ambivalence creates more time to have in your creative genius, in your purpose, in your mission. And it's so simple. It's just like, no, you get to release it, and you get to do the thing that you want to do. You get to do the course. You can create the thing. You can create the environment, the people, the friendships, the communities, right? The mentorship, whatever it is that you know is what you really want. Like that is like, oh, that would be really cool to explore. That would be really cool to get to know them. That would be really cool to study. And so the simple fact of getting rid of ambivalence is literally how you expand time, okay? And so I thought about Bitcoin because I love Bitcoin. And so I'm not in finances in any degree of finances, but when I thought about ambivalence, I'm like, wait, so Bitcoin holders, so if you are holding on to Bitcoin, right, they call it diamond hands. And so it means no matter how steep the dips, no matter the panic, the media, whatever it is, they hold Bitcoin for the long haul, and they don't pay attention to the noise, right? They have no care in the world. They have wholeheartedly believe in Bitcoin. So no volatility, emotion, media can get them off course. And so if they felt ambivalence about Bitcoin, they wouldn't be able to go withstand all the volatile changes, right? And so you commit to a long-term truth and remain regulated while the world moves around you, okay? And so that can happen in life. Like things can come up, right? And so when you're focused on your mission, when you're focused on your purpose, on your community, on the things that fuel you, all that other stuff is just noise. It's all just things moving through, right? And it doesn't freak you out because you believe so strongly in your creative genius, in your being, and your creative, co-creative force and creative genius, right? So you know that this is your purpose. You know that no circumstance can steer you to believe otherwise. And so that's hard to do if you felt like, I don't really know how I feel about this, right? You're not going to be able to withstand that. And also, you reap the rewards of long-term gains, increase in value, right? Because you're withstanding and withholding during the thing. It's the long term, right? So I came up with the coherence code, and this is 3 pillars, okay? 3 pillars that are going to change your life, mind blow you, and you will never be the same. So are you ready? All right, so number 1, no split energy, right? So no uncertainty and no split, half yes, half, you get it. Okay, we already get it. Your coherence requires one direction. And so stop negotiating with what drains you. Okay, clarity is occurring now because the split energy is gone. Okay, and the decision, stop costing you so much. It's not such an expensive investment. The time is returning to you and it's amplifying. Okay, so that's the first pillar. And so, and let's see, and like the manifestation stuff, it would be simply coherence is just a consistent vibrational match to what you desire, right? So there's no resistance. You know what you want and you're a vibrational match to that desire, okay? Ambivalence is just the offering a desire and the resistance at the same time. So you're like, there's a little fuzzy signal, it's not clear, and it's not stable. Okay. Number 2, devotion over discipline. Discipline forces behavior, right? Oh, you have to do it. Get up and do it. Blah, blah, blah. All that aggressive, masculine talk, right? Devotion aligns identity. So are you devoted to what you love? Are you devoted to your ultimate and highest good, right? Are you devoted to that center? Are you devoted to that purpose? And so that love and devotion is what is sustaining your alignment, okay? And that relies on resonance. So when you're in alignment, the devotion keeps you in alignment, right? Because think of a mother and a baby. Like, we can get through the most sleepless nights, the most crazy times. It's like not even physically possible what mothers go through, but in devotion to their babies, in devotion to their children, to their families, they show up every day, day in and day out, no matter what, and get it done with devotion, okay? And so when you're devoted to how you want to feel, how you want to live, and who you are becoming, consistency becomes effortless. And devotion removes pressure. So it replaces self-control with self-trust. And this is where momentum is stable, okay? And so think about a devoted mother's love. She withstands anything, okay? And that's what's happening. We withstand anything, even in the hardest circumstances, even in anything. We're devoted to our center, we're devoted to our purpose and to our mission, and so we get that support daily. And so the third pillar, okay, we had the first one, no split energy, the second one, devotion over discipline, and it's number 3 is energy before the outcome. So we stabilize our state before you chase the results, and coherence means your inner environment leads your external life, okay? So environmental threats wreak havoc on the nervous system, on the mitochondria, on the immunity, right? You don't set up camp where the bears are sleeping, right? You know, if there's an environmental threat, that is not where I'm going to choose to be. And so, again, it's that energetic hygiene. And so you don't wait for the circumstances to change. You become the environment and you curate the environment. So your energy is clean, focused, regulated, and the outcomes organize themselves around you. So life responds to whatever it is that you want, right? It is not correcting your nervous system along the way, and you are accelerating in synchronicity with your desires. So what does coherence look like? One directional energy. It's clean yeses. It's like the fuck yes moment. And you know, and that relaxed knowing that things are unfolding in your favor, you're aligned, you're stable, and you're raw and honest with your desires, okay? And so we're removing the resistance, we're removing the mixed signal, and you know that this is something you're worthy of. This is not contradictory. We are fully in our brilliance, fully in our honesty, and our desires, our heart-led desires. I like to think of it of the desires that I imagined when I was a little girl, because those are the ones that we loved and that we had imagined before all the other stuff, programming and all the other things kind of diluted that, right? And so if you desire something, but you're entertaining fear and doubt, resentment, right? It's the resistance is there. So removing that, and the art of allowing is making that signal extremely clear. Okay, is this landing for you guys? So the universe can respond cleanly, and your desires are your dominant thought, okay? And so it's that deliberate co-creation. It's that clarity that you are in center and you are wealthy in your frequency, and you know things are only unfolding in your favor. And so I like to think about it as we are relentlessly being pursued in our goodness and our desires. They're relentlessly pursuing us. And so in the Shekinah experience, I call this the resistance symptoms, right? And so they can show up in physical form. We can get all of these things, and they can show up as symptoms in our life. So when you're living out of alignment, you feel it. And when you're in alignment, you feel it too. And how you feel is what you get. So Simple as that. It doesn't have to be so hard. And these are just my go-to things, right? I will send all of these in the notes for you all. But so when we're choosing the thoughts that feel better, we get better. We get more of that, right? How you feel is what you get, and what you get is how you feel. Okay. And grace is always at play in your favor. So the same breath that's creating galaxies is the same breath that is sustaining you. The force that spins planets is flowing through our veins. So of course we get to enjoy the simple moments, right? But life is meant to be abundant, and those desires that you've always dreamt of are placed there because they're your God-given desires, and they're uniquely designed for you to be, do, and have. No other reason except that they are meant for you. Like, if you desire it, it is simply there because it's yours. The end. That's it. And so we simply get to say yes to what feels igniting, step into the flow of overflow, and release the ambivalence, okay? It's gone. It doesn't exist. When it's a fuck yes, that ignition, that soul fueling, lit up feeling, when you feel the fire in your stomach, when you get to really step into that, that is what we are here to experience. And so when we step into the frequency of love, business, mission, purpose, play, co-creation, confidence, the art of allowing, it never ends. It's infinite. You can close your eyes, right? There's a Joe Dispenza meditation. You can imagine every, your city zooming out, your state zooming out, the country zooming out, the oceans, the mountains, the valleys, the entire globe, and then go to space, and then it just keeps going and keeps going. It never ever ends, okay? It's infinite. And not only is it infinite, but it's infinite goodness that is pursuing you relentlessly. Okay, so it's sending you signs, signals, ideas, inspiration to take the steps into aligned action that has led you here to this moment, to carry out your mission. That is your gold, okay? That is your brilliance, right? So now that we've created more time, now what? What shall we do now, ladies? And so I feel like we need to put on our crowns. Right? We are the manifestation queens. Everybody put your crowns on. I don't have mine here with me. But put it on your head, because that is my huge centering focal point too. It's like, put that crown on and let your royalty reign you, right? Like, we're so unbothered. We're so centered. We're so relaxed because everything is taken care of all the time, every moment. It is relentlessly pursuing us. We don't have to chase. We don't have to prove. We don't have to force. We get to sit in our zone of genius and our creativity and our spark and our ignition. And we just get to let it pursue us. Simple as that. And so I remember being reliant on someone who I realized was not meant for me, right? And so I could have said it was ambivalent, right? And so there was just some sort of misalignment there. And listen, it is what it is, okay? But also, something you might not believe is I had a job that I felt the same way about. Ambivalent. I liked the money. There was good aspects and also some really draining ones. And I had so many mixed emotions. I couldn't get out of my bed most days because my energy felt like I was being siphoned out of me. I was an introvert and I was working in nightclubs. I was so disconnected from myself. And I experienced a ton of resistance symptoms, okay? And so what was I doing? I was ignoring the ambivalence. I was ignoring the signals. I was ignoring my inner being speaking to me so loudly. And I just kept suppressing, right? And for a long time, I simply came to terms that this is just what I had to do because of my circumstances, right? And if my circumstances were different, if I wasn't a single mom, if I didn't have to take care of my family, my mom, my little brother, the entire household bills, my daughter, my 1-year-old, I did this up until she was 4 years old, right? went going to school, doing all the things. I just simply thought that this was the only way. And so I would go to work, drink at the nightclub. It was so out of alignment with who I was. I was so disconnected from myself, right? And so I would work until 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning, go to sleep in avoidance of who I was. And quite frankly, I was on autopilot because I did not want to face the reality. And so fast forward today, there was so much more in between, but I also know now that even the most challenging circumstances, my desires are only relentlessly pursuing me. And even if it doesn't seem that way, I know because I have such a relaxed knowing in my veins, in my body, in my sustainability that sustains the planets and the galaxies, right? That there's nothing or no one that can bring me off course of that. Are you guys listening? Mic drop. Okay, no, really, what? The same energy that is sustaining the mountain, every space, all the cells, all the tiny microorganisms to the galaxies are sustaining and flowing through our veins, okay? And so, all of these things in my life took huge turns, right? I felt so much uncomfort, sadness, heartbreak, and it led me here. I studied energetics. I studied advanced biogeometry. I learned how to harmonize any environment, person, land, all planes of nature, any form of life, and most importantly, how to navigate life by trusting and knowing that our preferences, our desires, are guiding us to our missions. Essentially, it's magic, okay? And so I've made it my mission to become the standard, to become infinitely wealthy in my frequency and in my bank account, okay? By remaining in my full brilliance, no matter how uncomfortable other people feel, unapologetically, so that I receive more by doing less. There's no proving, there's no explaining, there's no forcing, there's no efforting. There's no hoping and waiting and wishing and just, well, maybe they will come around and maybe they will see me for what I'm worth, right? It's simply existing. We get to receive all the infinite abundance that we desire. That's it. Simply by existing, simply by being born into this world, this is what we are meant to receive. So, during these last 10 years, I've had trials and errors, right? We've tested, studied, integrated, applied, lost friendships, made new friendships, invested in mentorship. Yeah, $60,000 in mentorship. In one mentorship during the most financially hardest time of my life, right? I said, oh, well, I am the manifestation queen, so I think now, during the most crazy financially tough time in my life, I think I'm going to invest in the most crazy, I didn't even know mentorship could be that much. It was my first mentorship, and my second one, sorry, but I didn't even know. I had mentors that were, I was just I live in a bubble, right? I study very old school practices. I like esoteric stuff. So I am not up to date with the internet and this wild west of the internet world. So when I realized people were charging $50,000 for mentorship, and then I had one previously before that was $3,000, right? But I said, well, whatever she's doing here, I want to do this. I want to learn this. I love what she's doing. I feel that spark in my stomach, that fire is igniting in my soul. I want to do that. And I don't care how crazy my circumstances are right now. I'm going to test the waters, okay? And so I've learned the most insane, limitlessly expansive frameworks that have launched me into the most successful time of my business. And the best part is it's only the beginning, right? So it just keeps getting better and keeps getting better. And I even through my first Wellness Day retreat, I built a stage. I overcame the biggest fear of my life, public speaking. And I threw this event in 3 weeks. everything flowed. I got vendors I met in the parking lot at Starbucks, these beautiful businesswomen, entrepreneurs who are coming onto my podcast now and who just were such beautiful energies that the wellness event couldn't have been any better. Okay. Even the venue for the home that I rented, I teach people how to be architects of the reality. She was an architect in Brazil. I mean, things were so synchronistic that I could not have logically planned them to be any better. And so when we know the desires of our heart, they simply cast out and dispel fear. Simple as that. That is our focal point, right? And that's simple. It gets to be so simple. And so it leads me to the next story. One of my most expensive lessons, right? Like, I had a really great friend. We've been friends for so long, and he was one of my best friend's neighbors. And so it was during COVID, and I said, you know what? I really want to invest in Tesla. And he said, you are absolutely crazy. This was back in 2020. He said, I do not see a stock ever going higher than $600, and I wanted to invest $5,000 into Tesla. And he said, no, you are crazy. What are you thinking? I will never go above that. Don't do it. I'm like, wow, okay. So instead, I bought one share of Tesla. One share, okay? Within that month, there was a split, which means you double the shares. So I now had two. And then as the time went on, I invested a few more. But the splits happened so many times that I had probably like 6 times the amount of one. So it was like 6 to 1. And was that his fault? No, right? Like, he wasn't wearing the right glasses or the prescription of contacts. Like, he couldn't see past his experiences. And is that his fault? No. But will I ask him for stock advice ever again? No. And so it's just not his language, right? It's not what he has experienced, and it's what his expectations are. And so instead of talking to people like that, we have to choose who we're putting in our corner. And so that can be investing in mentors. That can be studying, maybe one-on-one with people who will chat back and forth with you all day, right? Or maybe you can join a community. And so I'm going to sell to you guys a little bit today, because selling is sexy. And when we are in our purpose, in our mission, and we know how vital it is for women to step into this embodiment that has taken you so much realization and so much beauty and lesson that you know that you can change their being. Like, selling is sexy. You have to sell what you are meant to be here to do, and to believe in your work, and to become the purpose and bring people with you on that journey. So if that's okay with you guys, I'm going to sell a little bit. So are you guys good with that? Are you ready? Hi, Josie. You look beautiful. Hi. I'm going to sell, baby. Okay. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's go. Okay. So, or you can join a community where you get every piece in one space. I don't know about you, but those mentors that talk to you all day and just go back and forth with you, chit-chatting, and you want every little detail, that stuff, you can get that, right? And that's fine. But instead, I like community who speak my language, who gets it, who sees your highest potential and fullest brilliance to support you, to lift you up, who have life experience, who are gifted in all the areas that you don't have the glasses or the contacts to see past, right? Your blind spots, okay? Because that happens. That happens. Sometimes we can't see past what our experience is showing us. And that leads you to jump timelines 5 years ahead of life experiences of trial and error. The business strategy, the frequency wealthy way, the energetically harmonized environments, all while wearing your crown, okay? And we aren't only ladies, we are legends, and legends do not play small, okay? So put on your crowns, ladies. Put them on, because we are manifestation queens, and this is what we're doing. So I have built my business just myself, right? Like I hired my mentor, but I don't have a team of 5 people, 10 people. I'm a one-man band here, and I'm a single mom. I have my kids with me 100% of the time, and I have 2, okay? And so I've developed my personal brand, which is a $35 billion industry, by the way, and growing exponentially, okay? The one thing AI cannot take from us is our personal brands. And I launched my podcast. I embraced my mission. I created the High Vibe Society. And so when we say we don't have enough time, ladies, I get it, okay? Because thank God for this ambivalence and the coherence code. I am finally expanding my time, and I wish I would have learned this sooner. And guess what? Time is expensive, right? So I also recognize the feeling of thinking, okay, maybe I can do it on my own. I don't need to invest. I don't need another mentorship. I don't need another thing on my plate, right? I've been there, juggling multiple responsibilities without asking for help, okay? Believing I'm more than capable, let me just do it on my own, right? Mrs. Independent, I've been there. And guess what? I feel burnt out, overwhelmed. I'm doing everything on my own. If only I had more support. If only I had this. If only I had that. If only I had this, right? And so what if the missing element needed to reignite the passion within us is here, okay? So this is not to add more to our plates, but it's to reveal what is possible, okay? And so in this space, we have a new baseline of miracles. This is where our expectations surpass anything you could have logically envisioned, right? This is the life force pumping in our veins, the infinite abundance, the daily miracles, the perfect health, the boundless joy. Envision income and revenue that exceeds your wildest dreams. And what if it could be better than that? How much better can it get? Okay, this is beyond the logic because we cannot possibly create with our logical mind. We were not created with our logical mind. Scientists can't figure it out. They can't figure out why the sun is burning. It doesn't make sense that Earth would be sustainable because the sun, it's all craziness, and logically it just comes down to magic, right? And so what if it could be even better? What if you could build a legacy for future generations, setting a new standard for years to come? Okay. Oh, thank you. Bye, babe. Thank you for joining. Bye, kitty. Oh, okay. And so what if how deeply you desire your desires, they deeply desire you back, okay? And just feel into that for a moment, because that older version of me could not have even believed that this is where I would be now. Like, I really could not have, even in 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, it was unrecognizable to who I was today. And so, are you ready to hear what awaits you? So, in the High Vibe Society, what we do is beyond logic, okay? And this is some of the benefits that you will enjoy if you join. It's a nurturing community home base with our baseline is miracles. Oh, thank you, Josie. You are so sweet. Oh, hello. Tressa, how are you? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do a little quick review, right? We did the coherence code. We did so much, Tressa. You're going to get the replay, and I'm so happy to see that you are here. I will send the notes and everything, but we did a coherence code. We did anti-ambivalence. We created more time. We got rid of the draining, siphoning things to pour from the co-creation, the center focal point, and be in our creative genius, because that is what amplifies us. That is frequency wealth. It's the amplification tool. And so you will get all of this in the replay. I will give you the notes. You'll get everything, babe. Thank you for being here. And today I'm going over the High Vibe Society, becoming a member of the High Vibe Society as a manifestation queen. You get a nurturing community home base valued at $10,000, right? Then identity practices designed to boost your self-esteem, your confidence, amplify your genius, support you during any circumstances, right? Get you back into your being, lift you back up, personal rebranding, any hardship, right? Full on support and life force is constantly being poured into you, okay? How much is that worth? Let's just say $8,000, okay? Unwavering support from fellow members, say another $7,000, right? Opportunities to showcase your unique talents on podcasts, on stages, in masterminds, in business summits and conferences, right? Not to mention retreats, VIP days, resort days, okay? So, and how much is that worth? Let's say like $10,000, okay? Meaningful friendships with people who truly understand you. Connections that bring you laughter, tears, and joys in just 5 minutes. Who will be lifelong connections that you've been dreaming of, okay? How much is that worth? I don't even know. I can't even put a dollar on that. I mean, infinite value there. Photo shoots and branding days to enhance your visibility. Okay, we do collaborative projects that spark creativity. We do strategic, online, scalable business format. Super simple, super easy, where you can scale globally, okay, and your personal brand and your mission and your genius. How much is that worth? Let's just say $30,000. Podcast speaking opportunities, your voice. These things that will spark you and light you up, okay? Not to mention, you get the member vault to everything that I've done, all my courses, all my replays. We do a quarterly mastermind where we do vision expansion, strategic elevation, proximity. That's worth like $24,000. Also, we do daily practices. You get daily coaching in our Telegram group, so we're constantly going back and forth. Voice notes, activations, energetic harmonization, scripture decoding. I love to dissect and dive deep into scripture. That is something I adore doing. And so we get all of that, right? So let's see. It's probably an estimated $200,000 value, okay? Let's review. And of course, I'm not going to charge you that. But if I did, would it be worth it? What would it be worth to have soulmate friends, soulmate relationships who walk you down the aisle, who see you as your fullest self, okay? But wait, there's more. We're doing a 5-day retreat that will be included. If you join this annual access, you'll get a 5-day retreat, okay? And this is for the founding members. So these women are our founding members who will be here from the beginning, who get this deal at a limited time, okay? And that retreat alone is $5,000 ticket, okay? So in that retreat, we're doing private chef, everything taken care of, mind, body, spirit, soul, business, where you'll literally feel replenished and activated and ready to take on the world, like my client who is already on the path to making $200K in 2 months, okay? And he has a pretty sustainable personal brand, and this can be for any industry, right? It doesn't have to be personal branding. It can be, you can be in the medical industry. You could be in the yoga industry. You could be in the spiritual industry. You could be in retail. You could be in fashion. It can be anything. This can be applied to any type of online space and in-person conjunction, okay? And so he's on the path to 200K in 2 months. And I'm also adding, this is just for the bonus for everyone here on the call today, adding a one-to-one coaching session, which is an hour long, 60 minutes with me, $5,000 value, where we can go over anything you desire, main goals, objections, game plan, whatever it is that you want to focus on, clarity, energetics, whatever it is. And then also, not done yet, I also want to give you an energetic session to harmonize and prep your energetic field. So this is where we go through every spiritual plane. We can go through any clearing. We can bring everything back into harmony. I can test your full body, every single piece of your life body form, right? It can be every organ. It can be every single place, from the tip of your fingernails to the bottom of your toes to the brain to the heart, on a whole collective, one and absolute being, so that your field can be clear and to be a clear channel and to be able to allow all the things and hold them and sustain them and to expand into the next level, right? So my energetic sessions will have it's like a combination of muscle testing along with energetics, and this is at every plane of nature. So a lot of things are corrected only on the physical plane, or maybe only on the spiritual plane, only on the emotional plane, but this is a collective full body scan on every single plane of nature, and that is a 3K value that you'll be getting. So you get $13,000 in bonuses, $200,000 in value, okay? And not to mention, we're constantly expanding, we're going bigger, we're improving and growing, and that's what we do in this infinite realm of possibilities. And instead of worry and self-doubt and ambivalence, and second guessing, you'll be in a relaxed state of knowing. And that is what I'm so proud of, that through this journey, I have been able to bring women into that relaxed state of knowing. And if you can put a value on that, I don't know what it would be. It would just be millions and millions and millions, because getting into that relaxed state of knowing, getting into that center and having that sense of peace, no matter what life throws at you, is worth, there's not enough money in the world to tell you what that's worth, okay? And so you'll put on your crown, become the manifestation queen, co-create with me, co-create with our community, gain time, gain clarity, excellence, and creative genius, because there's no longer time or energy leaks. There's only amplification, there's only harmony, there's no more confusion. And you're a founding member. You're a co-creating manifestation queen in the High Vibe Society, and this is what we do. And we made it easy for you. So we have a few options, okay? So for the annual access, it's normally $14,000, but I want to give you founding members a deal for only $2,500 down and a $708 a month payment. So that comes out to $11,000 for the year. That includes the 5-day retreat, that includes the Shekinah experience, the business conference, and all our in-person stuff, all my things in the vault, right? And the $10,000 cash if you want to do a pay in full. So you'll save another $1,000. It's normally $13,000, but for the founding members, you're getting it for $10,000. Okay. You can get all of this here. I'm going to send you guys actually the link right now. And so you can watch over this as I'm reviewing it. And so, or for a limited time, you can do a 6-month option. So you get 6-month access, and it's normally $9,000, but you'll get it for $6,000. And that's with a $2,000 down payment and $800 a month for 6 months. Okay, and so the links are in the chat for you, and the application is here. Let me send you the application, because it is application based, so we want to make sure you're a good fit. And I'm sending the application here, so you can flirt with it, check it out, see how it feels, try it on, just have fun. And once you apply, I'll make sure it's a good fit. You'll hear from me within 24 to 48 hours. And we're going to celebrate. I would love for you to send me a photo, and I want to announce our founding member, and you'll receive the vault. You'll receive all the trainings that go over your soul map to destiny blueprint. It's an energetic blueprint and alignment. So that is something that I trademarked and came up with on my own. The soul map to destiny. It's something that is curated specifically for you and customized to you. We go over the destiny method. We go over the royal embodiment teaching. It's how to release the costumes of perfectionism, people pleasing, and shrinking into smallness. Okay. We also have in the vault the coronation call, the crown visualization. As you let the frequency wash over your entire field every morning. We have the recognition week. We have the Shekinah experience. We have the unlock your inner manifestation queen. And these are activations, remembering how to intentionally activate your newfound reality. And so once you're in, we become the best versions of ourselves. The world becomes better. We become better leaders, visionaries, creatives, and beings. We operate from the most abundant and infinite, boundless space where we co-create with ease. We imprint the universe, we imprint the world with our frequency, and there is a compounding effect. This is compounding over time, every moment in time and space, and it's a ripple effect that affects everyone at a larger scale and goes way beyond what we can even fathom, what we can logically imagine, and it enriches the reality of every plane of nature, on the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, vital, right? Our energy literally affects our matter, okay? And it's where we step into our frequency wealth and embody the story we desire to live as our reality that we've curated, okay, through our desires. Our desires are that guiding force. And so with these energetic sessions, we clear any blocks, any stagnation, and we get into allowing as a clear channel and vessel so that you can operate at your fullest brilliance. And listen, this doesn't change my life, right? Like, my life is a reality that I've made, and it doesn't change much whether you join or not. But if you resonate with any of this and you want to step into the next embodiment of brilliance and standard and becoming and letting life meet you at that standard, then this is something you want for your life. And I'm here to witness, I'm here to support, I'm here to guide, I'm here to hold and activate. And so you can stay where you are on your own, or you can come with us. So what do you want to do? And listen, take your time, okay? This is completely up to you. This is something that you have to want for yourself and for your mission and for your purpose. And I know how powerful this is. I have seen it firsthand. I mean, the people in my community have been connections that I've dreamed of since I was a little girl, since I couldn't have even fathomed these connections, and just they've surpassed my connections that I've had for my whole life. And within 5 minutes, I was like, wow, like crying in conversation and just feeling so seen, so heard, so supported, so every level. And so there is the application and there is the link, and I know that you all have gold to be on stage, to be speaking, and Karina is in the room, and I know she speaks publicly. She is such an incredible, eloquent, beautiful speaker and beautiful power, force of nature, and just embodiment. I know she was speaking at the Mar-a-Lago. Karina, you are so talented and beautiful, and I just know that everyone has gold. I know Karina can probably attest to this too. Like, everything that we've been through that led us to this moment is literally our gold. It is our story. It is what we can help walk people through. It is what is so near and dear to our heart, and it is our God-given gift and mission to listen to those desires, to not suppress them, and to really allow them to rise with us, because that is literally what we were born to do. Excuse me. And so, yeah, like, so our community, everything starts to exponentially amplify, okay, including our time, our opportunities, our money, our frequency, our wealth, our generational wealth. And so it all gets to compound, it all gets to amplify. And I just know that this is something that can exponentially expand you to higher limits. Your ceiling will become your floor, because that's what God wants for us. He is creating a limitless and infinite abundance, right? And so we've outgrown playing small. That is not something that we're doing anymore. And all that strategy, all that stuff, all the technique, like, we don't need more on our plate. We need something that will expand our time, that will expand and reignite our soul, that will give us that stable environment so that we can feel safe to create in our genius and operate at that higher level, and to increase our influence in the world, to be seen, to be heard, to know that our creative genius is meant to do these things, right? And so we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to be independent in those ways. We get to curate these spaces, and we get to do it at a scalable, immensely limitless level. And I know that these frameworks are so simple. Anyone can do it. And it's something that I can't even put a price tag on, because it's something I so deeply desired for so long, and I finally get to guide and bring women with me to do this and to become the standard and to become the relaxed knowing of the feminine embodiment, to receive more and do less, and to get into that relaxed knowing. Nothing can take us out of that center, nothing, and we just get to bask in it. So I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. I will send you all the replay, and now I hope that you can really expand your time by getting rid of that ambivalence in your business and your life. Like, just turn everything up a notch. Turn it all up to a notch that lights you up, that maybe you're a little nervous about doing, but at least you feel that fire and that soul ignition where you're like, I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before, but let's do it. This is a little out of my typical ordinary taste or preference, but it seems new and it feels good. And it's just, that's what elevation, that's what expansion is, okay? So I love you all. I will send, hello, who is Samsung? I'm not sure. Is that Tracy? And so, yeah, let's just step into this. We don't need to keep getting, louder, harder, more on our plates. Like, we don't need to be explaining or to force or to beg people to see us for what we are. We get to curate everything in our life, and we have the power to do that. Like, why aren't we utilizing that? Why aren't we stepping fully into that brilliance, into that confidence? Okay. And this is where we get to have that baseline that supports us, because I know we go through things and we need to come back to that structure baseline that we can feel supported, that we can get lifted back up into that frequency. And so we're meeting every week, bi-weekly, for our live calls and our quarterly masterminds where we do practices, integrations, and just completely amplify beyond time and space. Like, I can't even explain to you how fast I've jumped timelines through getting into the space that I knew was meant for me. So, hi Jessie. Thank you guys for being here. If there's any questions, leave them in the chat. I would love to answer any questions. Anything you have, the links are there. Let's see. You guys, I hope you feel good. I'm buzzing. I hope everyone's feeling this buzz and this reignition. I mean, I know how good it feels to be in the zone of genius. I just feel so good. I know my mitochondria is thanking me. I know that when I'm in alignment, I feel better. I operate better. I can pour from that overflow and regulate my nervous system. I can raise the standards. I can lead better. I can be a better visionary. I can just be in my fullest expression, my artistry. And that's what we get to do. It's embodied leadership, visionary, and it's just so beyond our physical. And so we get to co-create with all of this force and all of this energetics. And so we become the energetic standard. We let the room come and meet us at that space. And so I love you all, and I hope you had the best time. You can DM me anytime, ask me any questions. My email, you have my email, and we will be in touch. And I cannot wait to welcome you into the High Vibe Society. So we can schedule our one-on-one call. You'll get the calendar, you'll get the events, and I cannot wait to connect further with you beautiful, beautiful manifestation queens. So have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you there. Mwah. Bye.